I started this channel end of last year and I've not posted anything this year. So I'm pregnant. I'm over 22 weeks now, and until a couple of weeks ago I've been sick quite a lot. So I've not really been in the mood or in the position to do anything, to be honest. So I thought I'd do a quick update today. So there's two main reasons that I want to discuss my pregnancy online. The first, because both pregnancies now I've suffered really badly with sickness. I don't hear it spoke about that much online, so I want to raise awareness of that. And also for this pregnancy, not my first one, but for this pregnancy I'm high risk, and I think you see a lot online of, it seems to be young perfect people having kids. So I just want to bring a different story, just something different for people to watch, something that might be missing. I'm not very good at just standing and talking to the camera, so whilst I talk today I'm preparing our tea, which we've got a Gousto box, and this is sticky orange meat-free chicken with rice. So I'm just going to prepare it. Hopefully I'll have finished talking by the time I prepared it, because I think if I'm cooking it's right next to the oven, so it's going to be quite noisy. So yeah, let's get started. So these are the ingredients. There's not much really, so I think it's going to be quite straightforward. I am vegan, which is why we've got the meat-free option, so fake chicken in there. Don't have fake meats that often, but hopefully it's nice. Okay, so as I mentioned, both of my pregnancies now I've suffered quite badly with sickness. My first pregnancy with my son, the sickness started, or the sick feeling started around 6 weeks, and I think it was around 8 weeks when I started actually being sick, and that lasted till I think about 16 weeks when I stopped being sick, and a couple of weeks after that until I stopped feeling sick. This time it's been a bit more intense. I was trying to think positive before I got pregnant and before the sickness started, because some people have one pregnancy with bad sickness and another one with nothing at all. You know, that each pregnancy is individual, it can be changed so much. But this time it was actually worse, and the day that I turned 6 weeks pregnant, I was physically sick, and it just continued then until, as I say, I've not been sick now for a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's been really, really horrible. So one difference comparing the pregnancies as well, the first pregnancy, I was, at the worst part, I was sick daily. But usually just once per day. Pregnancy sickness is really annoying, because you feel sick basically when you're hungry, so you have to eat to stop yourself feeling sick, or to stop you being sick, so I still feel sick the whole time. But then, as similar to if you have a bug, you don't want to eat, so it's kind of getting over a mental barrier, I guess, of how you can force yourself to eat. Last time, even though I felt really sick for numerous weeks, when I told my midwife, I didn't suggest medication, and neither did she, and I kind of thought at that point that a lot of people get sickness bad, and at what point does it warrant having medication. I actually think that I should have had medication last time. I don't know why the midwife didn't suggest it. I don't know if they were just, I don't know, maybe they just assumed that you would ask if you feel like you need it, but I didn't. And I remember saying to my mum, not long after I'd had my son, that if I was to have another pregnancy, I would be asking for medication. So I did this time. The first week of being sick, I was working and whatnot, so I just kind of got on with it the best I could. But then the following week, I phoned the doctors and I got some medication. So I was put on cyclazine, which I think is the most common medication for pregnancy sickness. So I've seen lots of mixed reviews online regarding cyclazine and just regarding any medication. I think it doesn't work for everybody. I was expecting some kind of miracle that unfortunately never happened. Something else I read as well said that it doesn't necessarily stop you feeling sick, it just stops you being sick. It stops the connection with your stomach and your brain or something to stop you being sick. So I think maybe it did help a little bit because I wasn't sick as much. I think once I started taking the medication, the most I was sick per day was just once. But that's still not ideal, especially when you've got a toddler to look after. So yeah, it's been really hard going. So I took cyclazine till I was 12 weeks pregnant. That was the original prescription that they gave me. It ran out over the weekend, so I phoned them on the Monday to get a repeat prescription. I was under the impression that I would get it the same day, so my husband went to the pharmacy, but they said it could be a few days. And then, so I had a few days of not taking it, and I actually thought to myself, I didn't feel any worse, so I never chased up the repeat prescription, so I stopped taking the cyclazine at 12 weeks. So I was still being sick until fairly recently. I was going to say it was more manageable. I don't think it got any more manageable. I think you just realise how to manage it yourself. So what food you can eat, which is a lot of beige stuff, and when to eat. There was a stage where I was being sick at around 11 o'clock pretty much every morning. But I found some days if I made sure I ate something at 10, it could usually hold off, but then I'd usually be sick in the afternoon, so it was just delaying it really. But yeah, it's been really horrible. I think I've said that a few times now. Just peeling an orange. Good job my son's napping, I would be wanting to eat this. Since the sickness kicked in, I told my manager at work that I was pregnant, and luckily they've allowed me to work from home, so I've been working from home the whole time. I'd normally go into the office on a Wednesday and a Friday, so I did go back in last Friday. That was my first day back, and then the plan is at the moment that I'll continue going in on Fridays only, and we'll see how I get on. I don't know if I will go back on Wednesdays, so we're already in May. I'll be finishing work at the end of August. It's still a few months, but I've got quite a lot of holidays to take as well. So yeah, we'll just see. The other thing as well is I do have 2 days off a week with my son, which if you've not got kids at the moment you might think is a rest, but actually the work days are kind of easier. And to anybody that might be going through this that has already got kids, it's okay to be a rubbish parent for a bit. The days that we've that have just been me and my son, we've literally not left the house. Obviously it's been winter, it's not been the best weather anyway. But yeah, we've just not done anything. I just couldn't face going anywhere and risking being sick. You know, if we were at a play centre and I need to be sick, my son's probably not going to be very willing to rush off to the toilet with me. So yeah, we've pretty much stayed at home. We've had help. He's had his first sleepover. He's had 2 now, sleepovers at my dad's house. And my sister also came and stayed with us for, is it 1 or 2 nights? I can't remember now. But my sister came and stayed and helped out for a couple of days. And then the last thing to do with the sickness before we move on is just that everyone's pregnancy is different, and I've found it really hard, but I know that there's people that are going through worse pregnancy wise and that don't even want to get into anything else in the world. You know, some people do have sickness right up until they give birth. I'm really sorry if you're in that situation, and anybody that is currently being sick, I hope it does pass soon for you. The other thing I wanted to talk about is being a high risk pregnancy. I knew that I would be high risk this time because I had a cesarean with my son, but also I'm high risk because my BMI is high. I also thought that I might be high risk due to my age. So I was 36 when we conceived and I'm 37 now. That's not been mentioned, so I don't know if it isn't a factor or if it's just not worth mentioning because of the other issues. I'm not sure. I'm sure when I checked at one point it was 37 that was the cut-off, but you know, it could have changed. I haven't checked. So yeah, they're the 2 reasons that I'm high risk, which just means basically I'll have more appointments. So in a second pregnancy you have less appointments with your midwife, but I've now got appointments with the consultant and additional scans, which, because of how things went with my son, I had the additional scans then anyway, they just weren't booked in as early. So at the moment I've got scans booked for 32, 36 and 40 weeks. I've seen the consultant once. He pretty much said he's not concerned with anything at the moment. The issues last time arose later in the pregnancy, so we'll probably see at maybe the 32 or definitely the 36 week scan what the situation is. Just briefly, I had excess water with my son. It was also measuring quite big, and when it actually came to, I was going to be induced originally, but when it came to it, his positioning wasn't ideal as well. His head was basically on my hip. So yeah, we went with the cesarean instead. So yeah, we'll see if those factors are also an issue in this pregnancy at those scans, and then I'll have meetings with the consultant and we can decide what action to take. Ideally, I would like to have a vaginal birth, but yeah, we'll just see. We'll just try not to think too much about it at the moment and just see how we get on. And regarding my BMI, I've actually been quite surprised. I don't know if it was my own insecurities, but because I'm counted as high risk, I thought it would be seen as a problem and I'd be getting weighed and, I don't know, told to lose weight or whatever, but actually it's not really been mentioned. I think they have all these stats of, you know, what constitutes high risk, but it doesn't mean anything's going to go wrong. I know when my sister had my nephew, she was counted as high risk, but when she got to much later on in the pregnancy, like to giving birth, they said basically she wasn't. There was no issues at all with the whole pregnancy. And I like to think I'm pretty healthy. I eat pretty healthy. I probably do eat too much, but most of the healthy stuff. I used to exercise loads, but finding the time to do it when you've got a toddler and when your husband works unusual hours, we'll just call it, it's really difficult. So yeah, I kind of wish that my BMI wasn't an issue, but it is, and we're here now. There's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. So I am hoping to do some more videos, because the focus on my channel is supposed to be around saving money or just being thrifty. It'll be around those kind of topics, but I'll probably just update, say every now and again when I get a chance, of how the pregnancy's going as well. If anyone else is pregnant or anyone's got any stories they want to share below, I'd love to hear. Thank you for watching. Bye.